G'day, and welcome back to Torment Thursdays, where I've been having a heck of a time. I keep getting stuck. I don't know what the heck I'm meant to do. I can't figure out a good way of progressing any of the quests I have, frankly. And, last time round, we tried to get further on getting to Matkina, and we failed. And then we tried to actually get to the, we tried to find out more about what happened to Queek, and the murders in the underbelly, and we got nowhere. We actually allowed a Stitches to get murdered, and that opened no new options. We got a reward that turned out to be literally nothing, because I assume bugs. So yeah, I'm not particularly happy with this. In fact, what I'm going to do is, because we effectively got nowhere at the end of the last lesson, actually thinking I'm going to go back and I'm going to step back an entire episode. We're going to grab Eritis, because that was about the only progress we made. And this way we haven't potentially locked off the cliff's edge, because we rested. And then we went into the anechoic lazaret, and then we got stuck. Literally stuck in a door and got nowhere. And I realized this is a beta, right? This is not the complete product. This is literally a build that is several months old. But on the other hand, it's ridiculous that this is that broken. I know people have finished this. It's not like this is a completely broken build that you cannot finish at all. Right? Because people have finished this. It probably isn't meant to take nearly this long. But because of the way I'm making the Let's Play, it's actually really frustrating to go and talk to a lot of people. Because that's the solution right now. The solution right now is just talk to as many people as possible. But when you're reading out the text, talking to as many people as possible is slow. And it really slows down the effective progression, right? So that is admittedly a really obvious thing to say, but I just, at the moment, I know that if I had passed some intellect checks, I could have moved a lot further, or at least I feel like I could have, and that's part of it, right? Last time round we resolved the issue with the Stitches much faster, and maybe I could have used the Stitches to get to the labyrinth. At the moment I've just got this useless quest sitting on my shoulders that I just can't do anything with. So what we're going to do is we're going to go down, we're going to pick up Eritis, who I decided speaks with a slight American troll. He's overconfident and everything. But yeah, he crashed the airship. He wanted to find out about that star. Yeah, let's have him join us. He's got a great sword. He's not too terrible or anything. And that is about all we want to do with that. We can talk to this cultist, see if we got anywhere. The flesh creeps if you let it. We can talk to Vuntgen and get the Stitches killed again, but really without having a good point to do that. I think it's better to just, I guess, stick with what I said before and actually go around and talk to people. Is there anything else? I know that there's meant to be a collapsed house that we can do stuff with. There's that. I really just don't know what I want to do right now, which is frustrating as all hell. Okay, these guys are named. Well, women are named, so let's talk to them. Surprise briefly registers on the cultist's face, then she inclines her head in respect. Greetings, beloved vessel. You lived in that ruined... how may I help you? I think someone may have looted that ruined house against the cliff. Did you see who it was? Yes, the cultist says. A mischievous expression crosses her face. But I can't help... I can't... I wonder if I can convince you to share something with us in exchange for our help. She ignores the startled look from her fellow cultists. Will you tell us about your birth? No, my time's more valuable than yours. Tell me what you need to know. If I must, I woke up on a theatre stage halfway through the production of Cabraxi the Erotic Automaton. No. Very well, I woke miles above the world, falling to my death. You can't be serious, he says, blanching. It's true. Without getting into the particulars, I survived the fall and came to understand myself. Amazing, she says, shaking her head. None of you were lucky enough to wake up in bed, were you? She clears her throat. Well, a deal's a deal. We did see someone looking through the rubble before you arrived, she says, glancing towards the pile of rubble. Dirty children, orphans perhaps, were digging through the ruins. I believe they took some food and valuables, but we were trying not to stare. You seem less deferential than some of the other cultists. Why? Not all of us revere your father. We simply wish to honor him for his boundless wisdom and bottomless knowledge. We wish to emulate him. But worship him? No. Who lived in that house against the cliff? A man, she says, but we don't know his name or where he is now. He took great care to avoid us. Good day to you. To you as well, beloved vessel. Here, let's talk to Barat. Nope, not much of a talker, but I like listening. And Gurumo squirms. Nice. Okay. So, none of that was helpful. Great. Oh wait, this is the one I was thinking of. The corpse of the young woman lies undisturbed amongst the ruins of the house that became her cairn. Search the rubbles. Alright, no, I already have done that. Never mind. Okay, I thought I hadn't in this playthrough. Anyway. Pequo! The mutant boy gazes at the entrance of the theatrical parlor, flinching at each scratch of razor metal on metal from within. By your estimation, he's in his late teens, but the size of a young, malnourished child. His arms a little more than bone wrapped in red, speckled skin, and a raw line zigzags between his mismatched eyes and over his blade of the nose, as if pointing directly at his thin lips. He sees you looking, and bird-like muscles flex in his frail jaw. Get a good look, he says, lifting his chin. Or maybe you want to call me some names. I hear Eggshell a lot, or maybe Lightning Bolt. Get that from time to time. He laughs. He crosses his bony arms and glares at you. Don't let me stop you. Call me some names. Laugh. Do it now, because in another few minutes I'll be the one laughing. Are you threatening me? What? Pico says, gaping, then he waves his twig-like arms like he's trying to take flight. Look at me, I have to be an idiot to threaten you. That's not what I meant. I'm not going to be the butt of everyone's jokes anymore, he says. Electricity sizzles briefly within the parlor. This time he does not flinch away. Lightning flickers, trapped in his determined eyes. I have some money, alright. I'm going to use it to change myself. Change everything I can. Can everyone buy improvements for the parlor? Yes. You pay the keeper and the drones remake your body the way you want. What sort of changes are you considering? Right, he says with a bit of laugh. Like I'm going to take advice from a girl. You don't like women? What? No, I like women. They like laughing at me. We get along just fine. I'm not laughing at you. Uh-huh, you're talking to me out of charity. Or pity. I don't want either. You sure there's nothing I can do to change your mind? Yeah, I'm sure. I don't want your help. What happens in the parlor again? Okay, so that's interesting. So that is like a sex-locked conversation, which is not really what I anticipated. Very few games will have the sex of your character determine whether or not a quest is available. So let's talk to Juno. The old man's skin is covered in makeup, painstakingly drawn to resemble dark stone. His eyes widen briefly as he notices you, and his face and neck hardens into actual obsidian for a moment. Then he smiles and nods at you, his features mobile once more. Welcome, welcome, he says. Sorry about the stone. Polymorphic flesh modification, you see. I didn't see you walk up, and I assumed you were going to cut my throat and take my surgical parlor for yourself. Hey, days young? His face flashes into obsidian before flushing into copper. The old man's blushing. Apologies, apologies. I knew you were joking, but the modifications are touchy about such things. And really, I'm glad they are. If I were a younger man looking to make a name for myself in the city, I'd kill me too. My geological parlor is a marvel of the prior world, you see. Just pick an item or a service, pay my outrageous fees, and after only a short to long period of fairly safe but indescribable agony, you will walk away with some horrible Numenera bits whirring away inside you. He pokes a few buttons on a device strapped to his wrist, and some lights twinkle along its length. A dark, glassy lens focuses on you. Well, interested? Come up and notice you're a very honest man. Well spotted, he says, nodding. Clear streaks of quarks run up his prominent cheekbones, revealing the muscle beneath. It's a side effect of my modifications. Couldn't lie to you if you begged me. He shrugs. Honesty is usually a hindrance to a businessman, but people seem to like it. How did you come to own this fellow? It was originally a partnership, he says. My colleagues and I spent 2 years digging it out and getting the whole mess working. He sighs. Of course, we had to test the drones before we tried them on anyone else. Customers getting skinned alive on opening day is bad for business. Turns out it was a wise move. Gornar chose an intelligence modification, and the drones cut off his head to work on it more directly. Mior picked strength, and the drones sliced off his arms. They defaulted to 7 in those days. He smiles fondly. Anyway, 6 partners later, I was the sole proprietor. I worked out the kinks, and here we are, with no fatalities in months. No fatalities in months. Show me a list of items and services. Of course, he says, tapping a few buttons on the broad device encircling his wrist. The lens beams a cone of light directly onto your eye, which immediately begins watering. Blinking, you see a menu of items, seemingly hanging in the air. The clawed gauntlets. I knew that'd catch your eye, he says, digging you in noons. We plant long, hollow rods in your forearms with steel blades sheathed inside. Just flick your wrists and out they pop, surprising anyone who mistook you for unarmed. He demonstrates with his unoccupied wrist, making little shik sounds. 650 shins for weapon and the work both. No thank you. Jagged memory. This, he says with a raised finger, is a tricky one. It's a mesh that fuses with your skin, leaving marks like tattoos. When you attack, they'll always hit your enemy's old wounds, even if they weren't there before. Told you it was a tricky one. Yours for 575 shins. What about the encroaching darkness? A beguiling name, isn't it? He says, laugh lines crinkling. Glad you like it, because I'm not sure what it does. It's a living creature. It crawls around your body while you sleep. It eventually takes root in your nervous system and does something. Could be good, could be bad, could be both. Certainly won't be boring. 480 shins. What are blood nanites? It's quite simple, he says. The drones fill your blood with millions of tiny little machines that promptly begin devouring you alive until they learn to differentiate between your body and anything that's not supposed to be there. After that, they'll do their level best to purge toxins and illness from your body with every pump of your heart. In case I wasn't clear, this one's really gonna hurt. 500 shins. Paid in advance, please. Numenera analyzer sounds safest. It's quite safe, he says. Most of the time, in almost 3 out of 5 cases. Implant procedure couldn't be simpler. Drones simply sew your skull open, shove an implant in the right spot, and seal everything up again. Once they do that, the implant will help you identify the purposes of unknown Numenera. It costs 400 shins, but it pays for itself. No thanks. An artificial eyeball? Really? Very popular item. The meat ones wear out so easily, and this one never does. It'll help you spot things, normalize, never miss. All it takes is a one-time cost of 550 shins and a tremendously unpleasant operation. That looks like a peerless drone, actually. Like that damaged one. How painful are these procedures? That is a popular question, he says, and it varies from procedure to procedure, but if you're seeking a general area, he taps his chin thoughtfully. My customers usually range between shrieking for a merciful death and groaning while soiling themselves. If that helps, but they almost always seem happy with the results when they survive. Now, you gonna buy anything? Can I ask you some questions about something else? Nope. Okay. I'll miss you, but I won't miss you, but I'll miss the money. Okay, I mean, we could actually sell a bunch of stuff. How much do we have shin-wise? How do we tell how much we have shin-wise? Ah, there. 212. 212, probably. There. I can words. Let's talk to Finson. Let's start that quest. We might as well basically kick off as many quests as we can. Because right now, we're kind of screwed. Did you find out anything? I could have sworn that I've not spoken to him this playthrough. Really, really puzzled by that. So here's the Tormented Levy. We'll talk to the Tormented Levy. The face of this armoured man is oddly generic, as if it was designed to be forgettable. His livery marks him as a soldier in service to Sega's Cliffs. A levy. The word comes easily to your mind. He stares past you, turning a small charred object over and over in his hands, whispering to himself. His overlarge red eyes are red, wet, and haunted. He appears to be looking for someone, and having spoken to Finton, you can tell who. The aura of shame around him is so powerful you can practically taste it. What are you holding now? He says, then grimaces, as though his words hurt him. I'm holding my shame. His hands unfold one bloody, soot-covered finger at a time. A crudely made wooden bird lies there, painted in pink and pale blues and shot around the edges. That bird represents your shame? Represents? No, this is my shame, and I'm holding it. I can't put it down. Why? Okay, whatever. Vincent told me to find out where you're falling. Yes, he says, the despair melting away. In that moment, he looks like a child, with a child's desperate hope. He knows, too, doesn't he? He sees what he did, what we did. Tears leak from his eyes, trailing down into his mouth as he continues. When the machine ripped the ear from him to make me, I felt the choices unraveling before me. He hugs himself. I see them cunning. None of it can be changed. Tell him this for me. Tell him this for me. The Gillam Manor job did happen. A servant caught him, called the levies, they chased him, and he set a fire. His eyes squeezed shut. The fire spread through the neighborhood. People were trapped. People screamed. His hands clench over the charred bird's toy with a soft crunch. Please tell him. Tell him I'm with him in the dark, hiding from the mob. Sob him. Tell him to give me a different year. A better one. What kind of a year do you want from Vincent? A year without the blackened door, without the hand tangled in the grape, the weeping in the dark places. Silent tears stream down his face. He doesn't seem to be aware of them. Wails rising from the glowing ashes. My arms bound with ragged rope every time I'm there in those last moments. I try to apologize, but my mouth... His fingertips brush at his lips. My mouth is full of dirt and blood. Let me ask you about something else. Nothing. Okay. So... his levy, which is made from a year of his life, is a pivotal year of his life. And that is why it's a bit nuts. Because he should have died during that year. What? Vincent says, going pale. Keep your voice down. You tell anyone else about this? No? Good. He lowers his voice. I have to be unspecific about this, understand? Before I became citizen, I wasn't a nice person. I took things for money, and just a few weeks ago, certain people told me they wanted me to rob Gillam Manor. He grimaces, rubbing his neck. I was going to do it. Then I became citizen, gave up a year of my life to create the levy. That levy. Something changed all of a sudden. I couldn't get into the dangers out of my head. How thick the levy patrols were like, or how the captain herself was looking into one of my older adventures. He plays with the apron strings hanging from his pocket, so I cancelled the job and started working at my aunt's bakery. Never did the Gillam job, and that's the truth. The levy is seeing what would have happened if you did the job. He wants another year from you. Oh, I get it. It's a shakedown. Give me a year, I'll tell him what you did. Lay down nothing. I never killed anyone, and I don't owe him anything. I can't keep handing out years like they're free. Based on what he said, it sounds like becoming a citizen saved your life. And that was my decision, not his. He groans. I go up to Government Square until the captain of the levies is up to it, if I had any way of explaining it. Hey, your levy's following me around. It's become haunted by my criminal past. Well, what good would telling the captain of the levies do? Levies ain't supposed to follow the citizens around. They ain't supposed to get all weepy either. Telling the captain would take care of the problem for sure, but I ain't about to try it myself. You want to try talking to her? She's on Government Square. See what I can do. Wait here. So, yeah, I mean, that will allow us to do various things. How do you like being a baker? Yeah, didn't think I'd like it, you know. My aunt had me waking up early, carrying trays, counting out lumps of dough. Didn't think I'd last a week. A smile spreads across his face so slowly he probably doesn't feel it. But I like the smell and the way the pastry is brown up. She started letting me draw stuff on the sides, like flowers and cats and stuff. He sees you looking and blushes. Don't tell anyone, yeah? Okay. Yeah. So, I accidentally triggered something I didn't quite want to trigger. But that allows us to go and talk to the captain and get that levy dismantled. Because it's gone a little bit strange, and they don't like it when levies go a little strange. As odd as that may sound. But yeah, so we'll do that, probably. Let's have a look at the device. And that's it. Yeah, we can't do anything with the device. Aiden Sitabo, who is wearing what is recognizably a gi. Large muscled man, is fast practicing some form of martial art as you look on. He's wearing an old white, rough woven coat with the sleeves torn off and a red bandana wrapped tightly around his head. He seems to be moving much faster than his size suggests as possible. He glides between stances as swiftly as water, his fists are blowing hammers, striking at invisible enemies. His bare, callous feet snap and slash at the air like knives. Where did you learn to fight like that? By challenging the deadliest creatures and studying their killing blows, he says. I lack claws and teeth, but I do the best I can. You're very fast. Yes, Aiden says. The Rebel's gift! His hands slip around an invisible assailant's arm. He snaps it with a stab of his elbow, and then crushes his enemy throat and flips him over his shoulder to the ground. Just at them, array! He shouts, spinning over the invisible adversary's corpse to deliver a triangle of jabs to the chest of his next attacker. The entire set of moves lasts no longer than 4 seconds. He catches you staring and smiles. You must be wondering why I'm shouting. Yes. I'm not surprised. I must look like kind of a lunatic, he says, before spearing his opponent's jugular with 3 fingers. Canted thrust! It helps me focus my breathing, my strength and my will. Reminds me how weak I once was, and how strong I've become. Years ago, I was a starving beggar. I managed to steal a wedge of pie crust and was terrified someone else would take it from me. So I hid inside that metal structure over there to enjoy my feast. Bite of the hidden keb, he says, glowing his enemy's eyes. The stale crust crumbled into pieces between my eager fingers. Then something strange happened. They drifted towards the ground like soft as snowflakes, and I was able to pick them up from the air before they fell. At first I was delighted, then I wept. How far had I fallen? The clean food was a miracle, he says, and then delivers 4 more blows to the air's belly. But the miracle never ended. The longer I lived in that shelter, the more I could slow the world by concentrating. I swore to never waste this gift. I would honor it by becoming stronger, faster. I would challenge the predators of the world and take their killing blows from them. I would never be prey again. I'll bet I'm faster than you. You're not the first to think so, he says, casually snapping an assailant's neck. I should warn you that all the others are dead. If that's not a threat, I only fight to the death. He flings the invisible corpse aside. Before I accept your challenge, I need to see if you're good enough to face me. His fist lashes towards you. Duralist kiss! Block the punch and strike back. Initiative, quick fingers. Yeah, let's spend a point on this. Success! You bat aside his fist aside and aim yours at distance. He lowers his head, dashing your knuckles off his forehead. I underestimated you, he says, an odd light in his eyes. That won't happen again. Tell me when you're ready for the next round. I'm ready. Why do you insist on fighting to the death? I've fought to learn my opponent's most powerful techniques. How can I be certain they'll use them unless death is on the line? I'm ready for the next part of your test. So am I, but prepare yourself. I'll not hold back this time. Tiberius assault! 2-handed blow at your face. Yeah, I'm gonna keep on this. Why not? Success. You lunge into the attack, driving your arms up between his fists, pushing them apart. One hand whips around the back of his neck and pulls him into range of your forehead. Crack. He stumbles back, blinking, smiling. You're ready. Well, have I passed all your tests? You have, but I'll remind you one more time. This will be a fight to the death. Are you certain you want to do this? He draws 1 foot back, settling his weight on it. His hands come up and draw apart, tightening into fists. Are you certain you want to do this? Yes. Okay. So, let's go with... He regards you with the serene eyes of a predator. Chest rising and falling, a warm wind tumbles across the stones. He flows into it, spinning away from the ground. His foot slices towards your head in a blow. Time slows as if the universe is holding its breath. Crocotan kick! Hammer of the Changing God. Success. Before his foot can connect, you drive your fist upwards, smashing him beneath the tree. He tumbles gracelessly to the ground, choking. Time resumes, flowing through you, and you feel some of Aiden's inhuman speed melding with your own reflexes. You have won, Aiden says when he regains some of his breath. Finish it. And rob the world of your talent? Never. I see, Aiden says, lowering his head, troubled. Perhaps I should have shown my opponents the same mercy. Instead, their talent is lost forever. He staggers back up to his feet and resumes training. I don't usually go in for mercy, but it does seem like the type who only tries to kill you once. Are you going to be challenging everyone you meet? Are you going to be challenging everyone we meet to daring duels? Never mind, don't tell me. I want to be surprised. He worked so hard. If you killed him, all his training would have been for nothing. Well, that was fun. Nice little diversion, I guess. House collapse. Web marks were mine. There's that. We can try and do stuff with that levy. We can also talk to Loss's self, who has her own stuff to do. This young woman clutches herself and growls, low and continuously under her breath. Pearly white light shimmers from a vial on her wrist. Her eyes are red-rimmed as if she's been crying. You've never seen her before, and yet your hands are sweating and your breath catches in your inherited chest. Shame burns your throat hot and sour. Your body recognizes her, even if you do not. Leave me alone, she mutters moments before she realizes she's not talking to you. You took my face, stole my family, whisper at me in my own voice. Isn't that enough? Isn't that... She breaks off when she sees you. She's in my head and she won't shut up. Talk loud, talk over her so I can hear you. What's the shiny object you're holding? She flinches but reveals a vial strapped to her wrist. It glows with an inner light, and the tiny ripples within seem to cast moving shadows on her palm. I woke up one night in a building I'd never seen before. I found this beneath a pile of blackened scales. If you shake it, it makes a picture. Look. Why are you holding on to it? Because I feel like it was mine, she blurts, then grimaces as if the words escape without permission. Anyway, it's mine now. I don't need any more of a reason than that. Okay. What is... You hear a woman in your head. Yes, she says, biting the words like an enemy's throat. Now stop talking about her. It brings her forward, and she clings, and she whines, and she won't stop, so please stop talking about her. I want to hear about the woman in your head. No, every time I think about her, she inches closer to me, pulls on my arm. Stop asking about her, please. Okay, so, again, I'm lacking something to do things with her. Okay, so we've got nothing we can do with Stitches. That was a bit of a dead end. I guess it'll be go to the underbelly and chat with people. Unless I can talk to the hooker and get something. Nah. Underbelly and chat. And that is the name of the game. And we'll do that next time. Until then, have a great day. Bye.